king of pop once sold a single glove for $350,000. One glove. That's not an accessory. That's an economy.
Hey there, I'm Emma. I'm totally vibing today, and yes, I'm ready to moonwalk through some cultural history. Buckle up.
So let's talk. Michael Joseph Jackson, born in Gary, Indiana in the late 50s, the eighth kid in a powerhouse musical family. He broke out with the Jackson 5, then became, well, the king of pop. He didn't just drop hits, he rewired how pop looks, sounds, and moves. From genre blending to short film music videos to philanthropy that set the bar, he pretty much changed the industry's DNA. Let me set the scene. A few years back, I went to a Michael Jackson tribute show, and I was low-key nervous. Big crowd, lots of sequins, the potential for a hot mess. But the energy, oh my god, it was electric. You know when a room just breathes at the same time? That moment, the impersonator slides into the Billie Jean bass line and then does the moonwalk, flawless, like butter on glass. Time froze, people screamed, I swear a grown man cried 2 rows behind me. Me too, sir. Not me, but me.
LE5 moment. The moonwalk isn't just a step, it's a theater trick. Your body moves forward while your feet lie to everyone. Michael unveiled it on that Motown 25 TV special in the early 80s, wearing the rhinestone glove. 47 million people were watching. That wasn't just dance, that was a seismic pop culture event, a true reveal.
Okay, let's move on. Who is Michael, really, in the pop ecosystem? Singer, songwriter, dancer, philanthropist, but his primary instrument was that voice, the percussive snap, the whispers, the grit. Genres? Pop, R&B, soul, disco, all in one blender. He started with the Jackson 5, I Want You Back, ABC, I'll Be There, absolute foundational tracks. Then solo stardom with Off the Wall at the end of the 70s, and boom, Thriller in the early 80s, the album that ate the world.
Thriller wasn't just big, it was a cultural takeover. 7 top 10 singles, #1 for what felt like forever, and it still holds the crown as one of the best-selling albums globally. Estimates vary, we'll get there, but the real flex was the visual game. Thriller, the short film, made music videos into cinematic events. After that, videos stopped being promos and became premiere nights. Red jackets turned into uniforms. Zombies learned 8 counts. Brands collapse on the floor, Yas Queen. Now, important people time, Quincy Jones. Quick primer if you don't know him. Jazz legend, arranger, film score heavyweight. He meets Michael on The Wiz in the late 70s. That's the film adaptation of The Wizard of Ounces directed by Sidney Lumet, a titan of American cinema. Quincy produced Off the Wall and Thriller, and together they fused movie score sophistication with pop hooks. Think strings with slap bass, cinematic tension with dance floor payoff. That's why those records still sound so expensive. If I were Quincy back then, honestly, I'd be cackling. We're about to turn radio into a Dolby Theater, honey. Let's bring in the best engineers, layer the vocals like silk, and let Michael's voice be the camera. It felt like a tracking shot on a hook. Also pivotal, Motown. Berry Gordy basically industrialized pop star making and launched the Jackson 5 with that production line polish. But control was tight, and by the mid-70s, the group jumped to Epic Records for more freedom. That's where Michael leveled up as a songwriter with the Jacksons. Shake Your Body, Displace Hotel, Can You Feel It? Creative autonomy unlocked. And then there's the brand game, PepsiCo. In the early 80s, a record-shattering deal tied Michael to the New Generation campaign. He even suggested flipping Billie Jean into jingle. That's synergy before social media, people. Commercials as pop culture drops. Also, Studio 54, Era New York exposed him to early hip-hop, which you can hear later in his beatboxing foundations, like in Working Day and Night. He was a sponge, and the scene fed him back. Receipts. The man's chart stats are wild. 13 #1s on the Hot 100 as a solo male, a joint record, and 5 #1s off that alone. Here's a nerdy but delicious contract fact. Around 1980, he negotiated a 37% royalty rate on wholesale album profit. ELI5, for every dollar the label made wholesale, he took about a third. In an era when labels ate first, that's a boss negotiation legend behavior. Awards. 13 Grammys, plus the Legend and Lifetime statues, 8 in one night during the Thriller era. Multiple American Music Awards, Brit Awards, MTV VMAs. Inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame twice, and yes, the Songwriters and Dance Halls of Fame. Add in the humanitarian side, estimates say he donated something like $500 million to charity. That's not PR fluff, that's scale. Okay, pause. Big unanswered question. How many records did he actually sell? You'll hear 500 million. You'll hear 1 billion. The truth is global accounting across decades is messy, and posthumous surges complicate it. My take, and yes, it's spicy, I lean high. Why? Because he wasn't just an American act, he was a planetary event.
Thriller top charts everywhere. Catalog spikes after his passing were insane, and in many markets the record keeping in the 80s and 90s was, let's be nice, mid, undercounted. So yeah, team nearly $1 billion, just saying. Speaking of his passing, 2009 was devastating. He was gearing up for This Is It, a massive comeback run, and then he died in Los Angeles due to cardiac arrest from acute propofol intoxication. The world stopped. Internet traffic spiked. Music sales exploded. The memorial at Staples Center drew global viewership estimates in the billions. The exact numbers debated, but the scale was undeniable. Later, his doctor was convicted of involuntary manslaughter. It was all painful, public, and messy. And yes, we have to acknowledge the controversies that shadow the legacy. In the early 90s, there were abuse allegations that ended in a civil settlement. In the mid-2000s, he went to trial and was acquitted. These are emotionally loaded topics, and people feel strongly in every direction. My stance: listen to survivors, honor due process, and admit that with icons, the culture struggles with nuance. Art and artist are entangled. It's complicated. The discourse matters, and we shouldn't look away from any part of the story. Okay, let's jump to the style files. The glove, the jackets, the loafers, signature look elements became pop hieroglyphics. A single rhinestone glove selling for 350 grand years later, that's not nostalgia, that's cultural capital. I want a biopic that's just the fashion arc. The Jackson 5 Motown polish, the off-the-wall tuck chic, the Thriller red jacket era, the bad leather hardware, each was a new skin for a new sound. That's a look, period.
A legacy roll call before we go. He helped popularize street moves like the robot, the moonwalk, and that anti-gravity lean, which physics said no, Michael said slay. He stood shoulder to shoulder with giants like Paul McCartney and Phil Collins, one of the few to sell over 100 million as a solo artist and also be a principal band member. Even after his death, the fascination continues. From posthumous releases like the Freddie Mercury collaboration, Freddie Mercury being Queen's legendary frontman, to a headline-grabbing hologram performance in the mid-2010s. The man's shadow is long.
Final hot take. Michael wasn't just the greatest entertainer, subjective, but I get it. He was a systems changer. He turned TV into a launchpad, made videos into short films, and negotiated like a mogul. Even catalog conversations today, reported mega deals around his music publishing, show that the value he built still moves markets.
Okay, so what else, you ask? Next time we're diving into another pop icon who revolutionized music videos. Think cone bras, MTV domination, and the blueprint for reinvention. You know who I mean, stay tuned.
Okay, we covered a lot, so that's the tea, folks. Later.